Hello galactic family, and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, I would like to take a moment to thank you guys for tuning in. Also, I want to thank everybody who has ordered a numerology reading from me or a card reading. I really do love the feedback and the validation. It means a lot to me when you guys give me feedback when I do these readings. I did one this morning and I wasn't going to post it because I didn't know, I don't know, I had a weird feeling about it. But then I think it was just, not that I had a weird feeling, it just felt, I don't know, I'm getting used to doing the readings on, uploading them in a video. I have to work on my delivery, and I realized that when I played back the video and I was like, oh my god, I didn't mean to say it like that. It's so much easier to do the videos, or not the videos, the card readings via email. But I'm working on it, and it's my way to practice. I'm a rookie. And I just thank you guys for the feedback in the comments. It's validation for me. Again, thank you so much. And if anybody is interested in a card reading or a numerology report, all of the information of the services that I offer are down below all of my videos on my channel. Okay, so today, you guys, I want to talk about the awakening process. I talk about it here and there. Most of the videos on my channel has to do with ascension, awakening, and your gifts and stuff like that. But there are a lot of newly awakened souls, looking for answers as to why they are seeing or feeling a certain way. You are here because you were guided here. And I'm here to help guide you through your awakening by sharing my experiences with you guys, by sharing my truth with you guys. So for me, the awakening process feels like a mixture of this and a mixture of that. At least that's how I felt about it when I was going through the process. Now I'm still going through the process, but I'm talking about the very beginning. It was so turbulent at times, and I felt so uncertain at times. Like an adulting mass of questions, emotions, and synchronicities. That's probably what you're experiencing. And you're like, whoa, what is going on? And it's normal. So some of this process was and is very beautiful and meaningful. Now my heart chakra is more open than it's ever been, okay? And as of recently, I noticed something changing in my heart chakra. And I noticed that it must have opened bigger because I cry over the slightest things. It's crazy. Like, for instance, I was at work and I was doing a wedding event. And when the bride and groom walked in and everybody was clapping and cheering and all that, I teared up. I had to walk away because I had a knot in my throat. It was weird. I was like, why is this water leaking from my face? Also, what else makes me so mushy all of a sudden? It's like weird, simple stuff. Like a leaf blowing in the wind can make me feel a certain happiness, or, it can also make my face leak. And I mean that in a joking way. I don't know, it's just everything is very different, very heightened. The energy is very intense. In my life, I have not always been a very open, emotionally open person. Usually I hide my emotions. Honestly, you guys, I was not taught how to release emotions properly. I held everything in. And you know, I didn't really have anybody ever to talk to. I never felt comfortable talking to anybody about anything, you know, expressing my emotions, you know, especially anything that was sad. I usually just kept it to myself. Now everything just releases on its own. It's like I have no control over it. It just releases. Now, not all of the awakening process is, you know, cupcakes and unicorns and rainbows and all that jazz. The rest of it was confusing and overwhelming at times, even frightening. It wasn't until I recovered from the most recent dark night of the soul, an awakening that hits crisis level, okay, that I suddenly had the realization that there was structure to the experience, that it all happened for a reason, and that each moment had to happen in that exact perfect way in order to orchestrate a whole that was to be our undoing. It is the catalyst for the very undoing of everything that is not true to us, not divinely authentic. And all the false beliefs that we've had about life that have limited us lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, okay? So we're changing, or everything around us is changing, pushing us to change. And, you know, we're breaking through and we're undoing everything that literally is not true to us, that is literally not divinely authentic. Okay? It's incredibly freeing, you guys, when you have this undoing, when you have this breakthrough, when you're freeing yourself. And it paves the way for an entirely new experience, a new life experience, where the goodness of life can truly flourish and come into fruition for you. And you can embrace your greatness and your joy and really feel fulfilled. But honestly, the truth is, you guys, is that if you're watching this video right now, if you're listening to this video right now, you're likely not out of the other end of this awakening. You're still processing. Okay. You're probably not feeling very stable or very secure yet. You're probably not secure at all. Now don't worry, that's normal, because it soon shall pass. It just takes some time. And you're probably wondering, what in the hell is going on with me? What in the hell is going on in general, and questioning how you'll ever get through whatever it is that you're experiencing. Now, the good news is you will, but unfortunately, there really isn't much in the way of real solid guidance or advice on awakening. And I know, because I scoured the internet looking for answers throughout most of my awakening. When I became consciously aware I was going through an awakening. Now, before I became consciously aware and started scouring the internet, I was, before I was consciously aware that I was going through an awakening, I stayed quiet. I knew things were happening in my life, and I was seeing things, I was feeling things, I was sensing things, but I didn't like to talk about it. I stayed quiet about it because I was afraid to tell people. I was afraid they would judge me. I was afraid they would call me nuts, when I was going through all of this. So I did the first portion of my awakening alone, and this was years ago. I mean, I've always been pretty sensitive, and I always thought it was normal. I didn't think anything of it because it was always that way for me. But then when I started to see like spirit and, like strange things happening, I knew something was up. And I was afraid of the experience, and I was afraid to tell people what I was experiencing. So I'm glad that, there's more people going through this, and people are talking about it more and more, so other people can feel more comfortable about it. Now, I made this channel to help people by sharing my experience, my truth. It may resonate for some of you, and I do understand that I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay, because I'd rather be your cup of coffee. So you're probably wondering, what's the difference between spiritual awakening or ascension process? Now, everything has labels, and they have labels because it's easier to explain certain things to you by labeling them, okay? However, there's really no difference. There's a slight difference, sort of, kind of, between those of us going through a spiritual awakening and those of us who are ascending. One leads into the other. It's like a peanut butter and jelly, or it's like peanut butter and jelly. Without one or the other, you wouldn't have a sandwich, okay? So spiritual awakening is often a dramatic, unexpected, and jolting experience. It is an awakening in every sense of the word that can give us symptoms that we don't understand and often lead us to crisis, which would be the dark night of the soul, what I just spoke about. And I've done a video on this. If you're interested in it, I'll link it below. You need this dark night of the soul to help to trigger you to wake you up spiritually. Okay, you need to hit rock bottom to trigger you, to wake you up spiritually. Now, ascension is the process that the planet, Earth, Gaia, is going through, and everything on it is evolving to higher consciousness and expanding awareness, changing and growing so that we are more compassionate and understanding and intuitive. We're moving into dimensions and anchoring in and integrating, and all of us are in different dimensions. It depends on where you are on your path. We are all on different levels, but as we evolve, we move up a level in awareness or in consciousness, and we expand in awareness, or vice versa. I don't know. Therefore, everyone is going through a spiritual awakening. Hold on one second. My daughter's talking to me. Okay. What was I saying? Sorry, you guys. If I'm not getting interrupted with my cell phone blinging or my husband calling me or something always happens. I'm always getting interrupted. Anyways, everyone going through a spiritual awakening is ascending, but not all who are ascending are going through a spiritual awakening. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Now, some of the symptoms of a spiritual awakening may vary, and I talk about these symptoms a lot, quite a bit in a lot of my videos on my channel. Hold on, something's on my video. Okay. Now, in order for you to really clearly make this distinction for yourself, you need to know the most common symptoms of the awakening. Now, if you've been following me on my channel for a while, you're probably pretty clear what the common symptoms are of an awakening, because I talk about it quite a bit. Some of the symptoms are being highly sensitive and emotional, feeling anxious or panicky or panicked, feeling extremely high empathy, because you're picking up on everyone else's stuff, everybody else's energy, feeling very overwhelmed, feeling crazy, or even questioning your own sanity. Your psychic senses, they feel like they're out of control. They feel intrusive or even frightening because they're so out of control. They're wacky right now. You may have mental health concerns. You may be experiencing physical difficulties like aches and pains in your joints. Maybe your knees hurt. Maybe your lower back hurts. feeling very fatigued and tired, feeling, you know, like you have a foggy brain fog, like, you know, a lot of brain farts. You feel like you're getting the early stages of Alzheimer's. It's really not funny because it can be pretty scary for some people. You may feel like you're very just ungrounded, like you're unable to ground your energy, and that's, you know, and I can see why, because you're going through this whole process and you don't even know what's going on. So I don't expect you to know how to ground yourself. A lot of you don't even know how to ground yourself and never even heard of it, you know? So that's not unheard of. So if you're ungrounded, you're going to experience a lot of these wacky symptoms. Now, the stages of awakening are generally the same for all of us. However, the intricate details are not the same for everybody. So some of us may experience a lot of this more intense than other people. Okay, so now that we know the most common signs of awakening, let's take a look at the stages of a spiritual awakening. This is where you'll begin to make more sense of the symptoms that you are experiencing and how they fit into this whole process, into your process. The first stage is the awakening stage. This is the stage that it starts, you know, this is where it all starts. And this is not happening because it's an accident or coincidence or anything like that. Your soul planned everything. Your soul planned exactly what it was, you know, gonna do before coming down here. You agreed to this process before coming down here, before volunteering to go through this here on Gaia. This is all happening for a reason, okay? Everything happens for a reason. There's no such thing as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Now, large frequencies of energy start to flood your body. They begin to flood your body. The psychic centers, or I like to call them the chakras, start to become more opened, usually quite abruptly, and suddenly you're feeling and sensing and seeing or hearing things that you weren't aware of before. Your psychic senses are so much more acute, okay? You may even begin having powerful spiritual experiences or sensations, and you'll feel more sensitive than usual, okay? And this is all due to the heightening of the psychic senses. You'll likely feel the need to retreat, to pull back from people, even pull back from going places and pull back from the things that you like to do. You'll want to hibernate. You're going to want to hibernate. I went into hermit mode for 5 years. I just recently came out of hibernation maybe like 4 months ago. Seriously, I haven't even went to work and left my house to people in 5 years because I needed it. This is natural, maybe not for 5 years, okay? We are all different. I know I needed 5 years. Maybe you'll only need a week or a day or a month. Maybe you're gonna need 10 years. I don't know, but we're all different, okay? I just know that I needed 5 years. And I know that it's part of the process. Now, the second stage is the healing stage. Now your body system and spiritual body is aware, okay? It's turned on, it's triggered. Energy wakes up. The energy has woken. And when it wakes up fast, and it bursts powerfully up through the chakra system, also known to some as a Kundalini awakening. Now, the purpose is to break through any blockages that stop that energy flowing, you know, from flowing smoothly straight through your system, giving you a pure connection to source. There's old emotions, there's heartbreaks, there's trauma from your past life, from all of your past lifetimes that our soul needs to heal from. This is why our psychic senses had to be so heightened, so that we could tap into the information from our past lives and become aware of it. Now, during this phase, you'll feel really, really emotional due to your heart chakra opening and becoming more clear. And I laugh because of the information I shared with you guys earlier when I was telling you guys about my heart chakra opening. Now, your heart chakra opening will make things become more clear for you. Your emotions will change erratically and just very erratically is the best way I could put it. You may feel that you have no control over when or where or how strongly they come up, because it will just happen, and it's like you have no control over it. It just happens. Once it's open and it has a free flow, it's just like, boom, emotion. Here come the tears. You know, you can't just turn them on and turn them off. They come up. It can be really hard. It really can. And if you try to hide it, the universe will, and does, work in mysterious ways. The universe will put people in your way to trigger the emotions that need to be healed. And it's not always sadness. It could be it could be so many ways. Like, for instance, maybe there's a man at the grocery store. Maybe you're shopping and the man at the grocery store will just give you this look. And that look that he's giving you triggers a very intense, uncomfortable sense of fear. Okay? And it makes you feel very uncomfortable. Or maybe it's intimidating. I don't know. Or you'll just happen to meet a new love interest with the same exact name as the old one who broke your heart. Okay? Pushing you into the path of forgiving or getting over it. Okay? Just getting through it. Things will get really synchronistic and probably a little confusing. But this stage will pass. And the good news is that once these issues are done, they are really and truly forever done. They'll be healed and cleared so well on the soul level that you'll likely never feel them in the same way ever again. You'll be able to grow from this universal life lesson. Bringing me into the next stage, the third stage, which is life purpose. Now, by the time you get to this stage, and it may take you guys, again, a week, a month, it could take you a year, it could take you 10 years. But when you get there, you'll be feeling inspired. You'll feel creative. And when you're creative, you're full of ideas and equipped with an inbuilt sense of duty to help or serve in some way. You will be in the service to others and not so much service to self. Okay? There are likely still some little kinks that show up as you move into a new project, which is probably because it's all new territory. Sometimes at this stage, you get a little second wave of the previous stage. You know, the universe is testing you. It's always testing you. The universe is testing you that all of these issues who weren't who you truly are gone for good. You might find some old patterns here and there, or issues or pains, surge up again. And when they do, you'll probably feel exacerbated and irritated at yourself and question if you've even made any progress at all. But, they've been inflated and intensified for a reason. So that you'll clear out every last nook and cranny of that low self-esteem, or that loneliness, or that anxiety, or whatever it is. And you'll finally be free from it. This time can be a little nerve-wracking, you know, this stage, in this time and stage, as you step into a cause or a new career or the thing that fulfills you the most, that brings you happiness. It's nerve-wracking simply because it's new. And while your soul has let go of fears that you can't do it or worries that it won't work out, it also has never had an experience without them looming over you like a dark cloud. It can feel very odd to try something and do well, or to have a good thing and actually keep it, particularly if your life has been a difficult one. Allow yourself to realize that everything is okay. Everything is as it should be. You are safe. You are guided as you try new things and find ways of living that truly express who you truly are, because you are divine. I always tell you guys this, you are divine. And that brings me into the next stage. Stage 4, divinity. Divinity is all about being clear of old pain, negative beliefs, and assumptions about life. You are truly pure in your energy. You are a godling. Yes, I called you a godling. You are a fractal of your creator, of your God or source. Be true to who you are. You are in your divinity, like a beautiful diamond. You know, like a beautiful diamond being encrusted in the muddy dirt and coal. You've removed and cleared everything that is not who you are. All that's left is a beautiful, polished, sparkling diamond. That's you. Okay? In order to understand the cause of any difficult signs and symptoms of awakening, I refer right back to the beginning of the process. It was the initial influx of light coming into our system that caused us to become highly sensitive, deeply empathic, and psychically open. Sorry, you guys, psychically opened. But the truth is that the initial influx of light, that was really ungrounding. That influx of light is only needed to kickstart the process. If we stay ungrounded, we're going to continue to intensify our emotions, heighten our empathy, and open psychically even more. And that's when we start to get really difficult symptoms. I know you guys are probably thinking, but it's good to be more psychically open or more heightened in empathy or, you know, whatever. I mean, it's good if you know how to ground yourself. You need to ground yourself. You need to learn how to ground yourself. Or these symptoms are just going to intensify and make things worse for you. It's just going to be like, it's like allowing a child to do whatever they want with no consequences, basically. And you know what happens to a child that has no consequences? Bad things happen. That's when things will start to get out of control, because then we are too open, we're too emotional and too empathic. It can make your normal daily life practically unbearable. And our human bodies are not designed to handle that level of light energy just yet. Not all at one time, and if you're not grounded, it's not designed to handle it all at one time. It can hurt you, make you feel very uncomfortable. That's where all those pains come in. That's why we have anxiety. We have to learn how to integrate the energy and adjust to it. We have to assimilate it. We don't want to stop the process. We don't want to just shut off our abilities or our compassion or our empathy. None of that. But we do want to make it compatible with living a happy, normal life. So now that we know that these symptoms are a result of being ungrounded during our awakening, we know we need to ground our energies. And I talk about this a lot too. And I've posted videos about grounding yourself and how to ground yourself. The truth is, it's really hard to get grounded during the beginning of the awakening. And it is. It's difficult. Not hard, it's difficult. Particularly because of the initial influx of the high vibrational light. We might find that grounding either doesn't work, or we feel like it doesn't work, or doesn't last. It didn't for me in the beginning at first. It actually made everything worse. It was like the overflow. I don't know. It just made it worse. It felt worse. It's like it had to get more intense before it got better. Now the reason is that we are so incredibly charged and highly sensitized, I guess, by that high vibrational energy, that anything that affects our energy in any way actually tends to charge us up more. It's kind of like an electrical charger, an electrical charger plugged into the socket in the wall. Unless it has something to channel that energy into, it tends to charge further and further, heating up. You ever touch your plug and it feels like it's heating up or overheating? And it could eventually even catch on fire. It's like that with our spiritual awakening. Our bodies just can't handle that level of energy just yet. We will, just not yet. Not all at one time. It's a process. This means that simple grounding methods like meditation, yoga, dancing, crystals, oils will actually have the opposite effect for some people. Not all people, but at the beginning, it could have the opposite effect. Not that it's not helping you, and not that you really even need that stuff, but meditating and yoga, I want to say yes. The other things, it's your personal choice. I do agree that meditation and yoga should be part of this process. But in the beginning, just it feels like it makes things worse, and it's just like it's like you need to rewire yourself to make it all better. Every time they affect our energies, they inadvertently stimulate us further. That's what it's doing. It's stimulating us further, and we just have to learn how to adjust to that stimulation to make it better. And that's a problem, because if we can't ground ourselves using our usual go-to methods, our symptoms continue to get worse and more out of control and harder to handle, and it will cause major anxiety. Now, I did suffer from major panic attacks when I become consciously aware that I was going through this awakening, and I started using the crystals and yoga. This is the beginning of my yoga and my meditating and all that stuff. And it felt like it was just getting worse, and it made me panic more, because I was like, I'm trying and it's not getting any better, and it made me worry more. I just needed to stick to it, and I needed to calm myself down. I needed to learn how to breathe. And that's when yoga, I found yoga to be helpful. The more I practiced yoga, I eventually rewired or rechanneled the flow of that energy in my body that was coming in, and I was able to control it because of the breathing techniques. Now, this is my experience that I'm sharing with you. This may work for you, it may not. Try it. If it works, hey, that's great. If it doesn't work, at least you tried. I feel that learning how to breathe properly is good. A lot of us do not breathe properly. And if we learn how to breathe properly, our breath can manipulate our energy, and it could calm us down. I'm a true believer that your breath could calm you down. It does. It helps you. There's certain yoga moves that you could do that will calm you down if you're having a panic attack. It's all in your breath, the power of your breath. Now, to reduce your symptoms, in the process, you want to learn how to ground. The best thing is to release what no longer serves you. and release what lowers your vibration. This includes people, families, lovers, places, things. This can make a massive difference in your life. In fact, it wasn't until I did that my awakening finally leveled out to a more even transition. I distanced myself from friends and family that were very negative and low vibrational. And I've shared this on my channel many times before. For those of you that have been following me for a while, know this. I still talk to some of the people that are low vibrational, that are in my family, but I limit my time with them, and I created boundaries. And that's something maybe you may want to try. Now, if there was only one piece of advice that I could give to you to help you in your spiritual awakening, this would be it. Release what no longer serves you. And I mean that in every sense of the word. This is the number one biggest mistake that I see so many people make during spiritual awakening. Can I help you? Sorry, you guys, my husband's here. I thought he wanted to tell me something. I get literally hundreds of emails and messages of people telling me that their awakening symptoms are out of control. They're anxious, they're overwhelmed, they're afraid, they're confused. Their empathy is heightened to, very heightened. It's making them freak out. Their emotions are out of control and their body is hurting, it's aching or, breaking down. And that's a result of the awakening process. Understandably, they are panicking and in a serious state of crisis. And not, this could also be part of your dark night of the soul, but it's also when you're going through the ascension process, if you're not taking care of yourself, physically, spiritually, and mentally, your body's going to break down. And that's all there is to it. You need to start eating better, cleaner, staying away from GMO, staying away from sugar, taking care of the way you think. You have to become more physical. You have to move your body around, because if you don't, it becomes toxic. It literally becomes toxic. And inflammation will start to develop in your body because of your lymphatic system pooling up with the poisons from not moving around. You were not built, you weren't created to lay around on the sofa and eat all day and watch TV and do absolutely nothing. That's not why you were created. And if that's what you're doing, you're just literally just laying there while your body breaks down. And eventually, you're going to feel like shit, basically. Now, if you are feeling any of these things, it's because of the awakening process and the ascension process. It's because you are this is because you are majorly ungrounded, because a lot of you guys that are newly going through this don't know how to ground yourself. So a lot of this is because you are not grounded. You're ungrounded during the awakening and the ascension process, which supercharges your energies. And then you are most likely engaging in activities or being in the vicinity of things that stimulate your energies even further. People stimulate me. So does, the solar and cosmic energies. They stimulate me. So a lot of times when I go out into public, I prepare myself by grounding myself. I do like a little grounding ritual, which I've shared on my YouTube channel before. And I carry my quartz crystal with me because people really, really stimulate me. And I'm very, I'm very hypersensitive to energies, the solar, the cosmic energies. So you need to spend time grounding yourself, like spending time meditating or being in the moment. Sit in nature, walk barefoot in the grass, and train with the earth's energies naturally. Use your crystals to ground if that's what you're attracted to. I have many crystals. I don't leave home without my quartz crystal. Scents are grounding, using essential oils or what else? Like sage. What are they called? The incense sticks. Anything that you like that smells good, that's natural. Buying those Febreze sprays and stuff like that, those are not natural, even though some of them really do smell good. But I tend to be very sensitive to smell. So even like burning this candle right here has this autumn scent, and smelling it quickly smells really good, but smelling it for a long time, it will give me a migraine, my nose will start to hurt, and then I'll start to feel nasty. I don't know why. I'm just very sensitive. I call it poisonous. I'm being poisoned. My family picks on me all the time. I always tell them, I can smell the poison in it. But yeah, try to use things that are natural. What else? Oils. I talked about the grounding. I like to use essential oils. I like sage oil. I like myrrh oil. I like lavender. I like mint. And those are just a few. I mean, I've been getting into oils the last couple of years, and I'm really starting to enjoy them and incorporate them into my daily life more and more. And you can even use oils to calm your energies, like lavender. What else? Sitting by water. Taking an Epsom salt bath. I talk about that all the time. Take an Epsom salt bath. Don't use table salt. Table salt is toxic salt. Epsom salt or Himalayan salt, stuff like that. Not table salt. Try yoga. Move your body. Dance. Run. Walk. Eat clean. Drink lots of water. Also, you guys, be kind to yourself and be kind to other people. Be positive. Be mindful. This is my most shared protocol. I talk about it all the time. Follow this guidance. This guidance can reduce any of your awakening symptoms. It may reduce some of your awakening symptoms. I mean, I'm just sharing with you guys what has helped for me. Take responsibility for your own well-being. Grounding in any of these ways is actually imperative to moving forward in the ascension process and coming out the other end of the awakening. Even though I don't even think we ever really come out the other end, but you might feel like it at a certain point. Or, you may see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's actually a very structured pathway to becoming fully awakened. And do we even really know what being fully awakened is? I mean, some of us have an idea, but you'll feel more awakened than you were. And you'll want to transcend a lot of those annoying symptoms in this process. That's all. It goes a little something like this. Grounding, healing, clear intuition, aligned with life purpose. That's the path it takes. And kind of, sort of in that order. Kind of, sort of. There's no getting around it. We need to ground in order to reduce our symptoms. To be able to breathe under the pressure of this transformation without anxiety, without being overwhelmed, without dealing, with these turbulent emotions or painful empathy clouding, the pathway. More than that, you guys, we need to ground so that we can clearly see whatever issues or symptoms are left over. If the issue clears with proper grounding in place, then it's simply a result of being ungrounded. However, if we ground and the issue or symptoms persists, then our soul is showing us exactly what we need to heal in order to move forward. So then we're on to healing. We have a clear view of what our soul needs addressed. And we need to clear all of those things within ourselves that are not true to who we really are. And, you know, that's when life has less drama. So that's a perk. Once we are sufficiently healed, our intuition is crystal clear, aligned with light, and an open channel for your higher self, for guides or even creator to pour through, to come through to you clearer. Then and only then we discover our aligned, we discover and align with our life purpose, our greatest joy, what brings us great joy. Because unless we are grounded and healed with clear intuition and a steady connection to source, we cannot fulfill our life purpose because we are simply not ready. So you need to clear, you need to become more aligned, balanced. Step out of duality and into neutrality. The universe needs to know that you are grounded, trustworthy, a together human, clear enough to receive wisdom and information without it being tainted by previous issues, and grounded enough to be able to take action to fulfill it in the physical world. So now can you see how truly vital grounding is? I mean, it's really, really important for you guys. It is not the entire pathway to ascension or the end of the tunnel, but it is absolutely the first step needed on the pathway to move us towards our goals and dreams, or whatever makes you happy and brings you joy. Without it, we try, straddling these worlds, these two worlds with, shaky foundations, wondering why we feel insecure, why we feel lost, or why we even feel uncertain. I hope this video resonates for some of you. Please consider sharing this post or this video with others that are struggling with the awakening process, because if it helped you, it may help somebody else that you know. And before I end this video for you guys, I do make personalized salt baths. So if you are interested in one and you want to talk about it or ask me questions, email me. I make them for sleeping, for joint pain, if you have sinus issues, stuff like that. And I also make grounding salt baths. I also make grounding sprays to ground yourself. Maybe you don't like the way sage smoke smells and you'd rather just, use a spray. Or maybe you work in an office and you can't ground in the office by using sage. The spray, however, is a great way to ground your space in the office. Spray around your cubicle or wherever you work. For more information about that, for prices and information, just email me. All of my email and contact information is down below. I'm still offering numerology readings. They're only $11.11. I am still doing tarot card readings, past life, angel oracle readings by donation only. And if you feel guided to do a cash donation, all of my information is down below. And if you feel guided to do a time donation, and for those of you that don't know what a time donation is, it's my favorite donation. It's you using your time to contact me by writing me a letter the good old-fashioned way, the vintage way, snail mail. I love snail mail. I don't like bills, but I like snail mail. And anything simple, a card, a postcard, a letter. You can have your children draw me a picture, anything. I love snail mail, you guys. And that's a great donation. I love that donation. It's my favorite donation of all. I just want to send all of you guys lots of love and lots of healing light. Many blessings to all of you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.